now, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Zachary and Pammy and Travis are in the audience, and they're waiting to talk. We're just going to talk. I don't know what we're going to talk about. I don't know what we're going to do, but I figured, you know what? Why not do it? So I'm bringing them all on. And I got to tell you, today is a day when a lot of people are going through some stuff. So, and I get all these emails all the time from everybody, and and they have questions like, I'm going through this or I'm going through that, and what do you think I should do? And I was like, so I pray about it. Sometimes I try to encourage people. Sometimes I put stuff out where I'll tell them, like the person that just said to them that they lost their whole business, that their partner took, just basically took it out from underneath them. I said, well, maybe it's time to start another business. Maybe it's time to put something up on your own. Maybe it's time not to have a partner. Sometimes scary things happen and they move us out of our comfort zone. When the baby eagle is ready to fly, the nest is built so that it's uncomfortable. I get uncomfortable sometimes, and it's not just the hemorrhoids. You know what I mean? Zachary is new to our Zoom. Zachary, what's going on, man?
Jacob, I am so grateful to be here with you and Travis and Pammy. I've been, as you wanted, I've never really connected with you off of camera, but I've been one of those Nick at Nighters, watching for years, ever since 2020. Man, because I thought I was a lunatic back then, the way I was thinking about things and how things were playing out. And one day I actually found you through Donut.
Alex, we love Alex.
Oh, I love his point of view. I love his soul. He speaks from his heart. He's a good one. He's one of the good ones. But anyways, I found you. And
so people called you a lunatic. Lunatic comes from the craziness of the moon. Travis, right before you came on, Travis, Jennifer just shared some news. Jennifer, can you just pop into camera and just come on over here and tell us what's coming up? You gotta speak.
On the other side of the world, on September 7th and 8th for Indonesia, Africa, guys, they're having a blood moon eclipse. It'll last 82 minutes.
82.
It ends at, I think it says 18. I don't have my glasses on.
Listen, Jennifer brings notes to the Zooms.
The time that it ends on, it's 1852, and that's Tear That Curtain. So,
tearing the veil. So what Jennifer is saying is that the veil is torn. So there's this, a blood moon eclipse?
Yeah, on the other side of the world, on the September 7th and 8th, it's going to be and it's going to last 82 minutes. That's
crazy.
Bizarre, what?
Yeah, that's very interesting. And it really feels like...
It means renting the veil.
That's, yeah. Put yourself on camera so we can see you, and say that again, Travis.
And Strong's Concordance means renting the veil.
Right. The Strong's, just so you know, is kind of like a breakdown of the Bible, and there's a number that's attached to all the words. So if you want to look at the deeper meaning of what the word means, so the time that it's going off, is that what Jennifer was saying?
Yeah.
It means tearing the veil.
Out of the darkness will be 1852. And that's
out of the darkness, tearing the veil. This is the day. This is the day. No wonder I started with the horn. So Zachary, you have these interesting tattoos on your hand. Can you share them with us? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So and don't get me started about the moon. Don't get me started about astrology.
No, I'm going to start you. I'm sorry,
dude. I could geek out for hours. Like you and I could sit by a campfire and all night long talk.
This is the campfire. We got a lot of people watching.
So I have life and pain up here, and I believe in what's called transmutation. And what that means.
And that's a big thing right now. Alchemy, the US Debt Clock just put something up where they're like, it's alchemy. It's all transmutation. And the veil being torn would be a spiritual alchemy, if you will. Go on.
Yes. So I consider myself an alchemist, but of course I serve the Most High Elohim. Like you were talking the other day, there's lower Elohim, but I serve the Most High Elohim, or the Creator, or capital G God, however you want to say it.
Yeah, you're not celebrating the small tiny gods.
No,
got the only one there is. Yeah.
Like God says, respect the heavenly host. but
Yeah.
remember who created the heavenly host.
And you know what a host is? Zachary, you know what a host? A host is something that carries something else. It's like parasites need a host to survive. The Holy Spirit is called the paraclete, a little different than a parasite. We don't want to think of God as a parasite.
No,
if anything,
no.
we would be the ones sucking off the spirit, and you know.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
so you know, so you're definitely a thing. How old are you?
I'm 42. I have
That's-
to remember sometimes. Wait, how old am I?
Yeah,
But
42. I mean, you're out of the wilderness, so you're at a point in your life right now, and you were saying earlier that you were thinking of getting into sharing some things. Do you have a YouTube channel now?
Yeah, so I just started. I mean, honestly, I started my LLC back in 2022.
Well, do you
after
have a
my-
YouTube channel like online now that we could just shout you out and get people to sub to you?
Sure, yeah. It's all my handles are the same. I have X, TikTok, and YouTube.
Okay.
And
And what's your
it's-
handle?
It's at Pluto Pines TV.
It's cool, man. So go on.
Yeah, so I long story short, I was born with a cleft lip and a cleft palate. I didn't speak till I was around 5 years old.
Wow.
Through speech therapy, and then I grew up and I was bullied all through school. Much like you, we have similar stories.
Yeah.
And then whenever I started to reach that age when we mature, I developed a severe underbite.
Oh
So,
no.
like, for reference, like when you see Forrest Gump, Bubba, you know,
Yeah.
that's what I looked like.
I think you're
and so-
very handsome, Zachary. I just want to let you know it all worked out.
Well, no, I appreciate that. No, God's been good to me for sure. But yeah, so went through that, joined the military, went to Iraq, came back.
You were in the armed services.
Yeah, I was in the Army. I drove semi trucks over in Iraq for a year.
Okay. And hopefully nothing terrible happened to you?
Well, I mean, I have stories, but the one thing I choose to focus on is because we ran a lot of our missions at nighttime. A lot of the times when we got to the other base and we had to unload our cargo, a lot of the times it was fuel.
Right.
We would be sitting on top of the fuel tankers and the sun would be coming up. And it was like God was just smiling at me because I have never seen sunrises like that before. Like, because you gotta think, like, here in America, you have all that pollution, you have
Right.
the light pollution, but out there in the desert, it was just natural and it was beautiful.
In the midst of war, God reveals himself and we
Yeah.
are struck in awe, you know?
Yeah.
And now you find yourself, how many years later, you probably had some, you know, difficulty or some things to overcome to get you to where you are. And now you feel like now it's time to help others.
Absolutely. And that's what really motivated me. You know, and I believe God spoke through you. God spoke through, you know, other things these past few years that have told me, okay, Zach, I took you through the fire for a reason. And it's to help other people now.
Right.
And if I can do that and support my family and help others, you know, get to a better place, because I've battled a lot of demons. I still battle with demons to this day.
Well, you know, and you know that you do have authority and power to just simply say when that negative thought pops in your head, that little demon's in your head whispering, you know, to just say, I was faced with something just the other, my mother-in-law, she went into the hospital. She has stents in her heart and she's older and, you know, we worry about her and love her. And I was overcome with like worry and fear. And then they found like a huge mass in the ER. And of course, you know, Danielle's brother is a doctor. So he's saying like bypass surgery. And he's saying, oh, it's, you know, cancer. She has that BRCA gene. And I was shaken because Danielle was, and I could see how it was going there. And I'm like, well, maybe it's time to intercede. And I went upstairs. I told Danielle, I said, I got to go take a hot shower because I was just, I felt like I was being overcome with fear, which false evidence appearing real. And I said, you know, if it's not thoughts of peace, if it's not thoughts of hope, if it's not, so what I did was I went upstairs and I prayed. I said, oh, Lord, please, help me to get rid of this, and Lord, please don't let me think the worst. And Lord, please, it's like, whatever your will, Lord, let it be done. But I refuse to believe something until you tell me it's true. So Danielle ended up calling me with my son in the car. This just happened, and said, they're really worried that it's going to. I said, no, I see something different. I see it's an infection. Because that could be what it is. And that's what I choose to see until I hear different. And then we got the call. It was an infection. They gave her antibiotics, and she's actually relatively good health. And she just went out to lunch with my wife and her brother. So my point is, you have authority to do that. Sometimes it can be so oppressive that you shake. I was shaking. I got cold. So, I get worried sometimes with the things that I say. I put out videos, people misunderstand them. I get worried sometimes, and I have to pray. When those thoughts come, you got to resist the devil and he'll flee. It's as simple as going, I'm out of my peace right now, recognizing it, and then taking authority that's why it says that, in the name of Christ, you can cast out demons. And what does that mean? In the nature of Christ. And what did Christ say? If you have faith, that's all you need. So you say, no, that's not true. Yeah. I recommend anybody not putting pipe dreams out there and thinking this is going to be the answer. I say, you know what? Do what I did. Work any job to see your dream, because God put that desire in your heart for a reason, Zach. I got no doubt that your YouTube channel is going to do well. It took me years to get to a place where I reached more than 100 people, and I think you probably get more than 100 subs just from being on this show. And the idea is you share your pain, you share your life and your pain, and you show them there's a color scheme. Tell me about that color scheme.
Right. So you have, like I was telling you before, what really brings me a lot of hope, and then confirms my faith, and confirms, like, even though I have these crazy thoughts, or like you have these crazy thoughts, when they're not really crazy, they're just crazy because society says they're crazy. But we know that there is a true living God who intercedes for us. And so when I look at the rainbow in this world that we feel is upside down, God is telling us it is upside down, because red is at top of the rainbow and purple is at the bottom. Now, this is just my personal opinion, but you've also shared red is associated with Mars. Mars is associated with war, exactly. Now, I would rather put purple, which is associated with divinity, on the top of my head than war. But like you were talking about, like from being bullied, from being in the military, sometimes I have an anger problem.
Right.
And right now, what I'm going through right now, Jacob, is that my son was born premature. He was born 8 weeks early. He's been diagnosed with cerebral palsy.
Oh.
Now, as heartbreaking as that is, every time I take him to physical therapy, every time he interacts with anyone, like, here's the story. My wife and I were going into the last ultrasound, just normal appointment. We go in, the doctor comes in and says, hey, we need to get you to the hospital. There was a blood clot. By the grace of God, they found the blood clot, because 99% of the time they only find this whenever the baby is stillborn. So this doctor, by the grace of God, saw this blood clot. We got to the hospital in time to have him delivered. He's a New Year's baby.
Wow.
You and I are all about numbers. He was born 1/1/22.
Come on. 11/22.
Yeah.
A witness.
Yeah.
A scribe.
Yeah. He's going to do great things in this world. But the thing that's so hard that we're battling with right now is that we're battling the world. We are battling with healthcare insurance companies right now, because back in November, we started the process of getting him a wheelchair.
Yeah.
That was November of 24, and it's August now. We're still fighting that battle.
So they have you probably sending in paperwork, and they need like doctor's notes or requests, and let me tell you something.
Doctors 4 times.
4 times, okay. And right now you haven't told me this, and I'm just guessing here, but I would assume that you're still waiting to hear if everything's going to come through. So maybe you're a little scared.
What I'm battling with is my emotions. Because I believe, like, whatever you want to believe, the unseen realm tries to get us to be fearful so they can control us. They get us, I feel they try to get me angry so I lose control.
And what are you
And
scared? What are you scared about in this situation? Do you think that they're not going to help you?
Yeah, I think a lot of it goes back to my past because I saw my parents have to battle this same battle, and now I'm having to battle it, and I don't want my son to ever feel like how I felt. You know what
Right.
I
And
mean?
you know why? Because you will be a better father than what you had before. Because every parent does the best they can, and every generation should improve upon that. This is the generation where we do set people, but I mean, look, I just called my mother and my father, my stepfather. I never met my father. And I apologized because look, it wasn't perfect. Right. Life isn't perfect. We make jokes about me and Shiloh's boyfriend, who I was, whipped with the belt and a lot of other things. He was as well. And it's interesting because there's a different generation. I said to him, because he's dating my daughter, I said, well, that's not the proper way to parent. He says, yes, I know. Sometimes we have to have strong people like yourself to go through these things so that you can set the expectation for the next generation. So now you have a choice. So that fear saying, the desire, this is what faith is. Faith is the desire of something. It's like, it's the evidence of things that are not seen. It's the hope of something. You want to be a better father. You don't want your son to. That's evidence that it's going to happen. That's what the scripture means. It's evidence it's going to happen. You have on your hand on life, it goes to divinity. So you've been through, right? So the red starts on the end. Of course, red's at the very beginning of pain, at the end of pain, right? And of course, you end in life where you have the divinity. So here's the thing. You have all of these issues. I am in faith saying to you that it's going to work out. You'll get the wheelchair you need. You're going to get the support you need. You're going to have opportunities because you're dedicating your house and you're dedicating yourself to being the best father you can be, to being the best steward of what you've been given. And you're going to be given more when you master what you have right now. So far, I think you're doing great. I mean, I'm sure you've stressed out, thrown things, smashed your hand against the wall. I've done it. I've put a couple of holes in walls too. Never hit people, but and screamed. I screamed just recently. Just screamed. I was like, oh, I know who I am. Don't you see my heart?
Oh yeah, sometimes I know I have that relationship with God where sometimes I know God can take it, and then afterwards I'm like, thank you, God, I'm sorry, but I'm just like, are you kidding me? What kind of world did you create?
Look at where you are. Listen, look at where you are right now, and we're going to come back and we're going to revisit this. And we're going to see where God's going to take you in probably just a month's time. I want you to reach out to me. If you're following me on X, you know where I am. Just DM me. If I'm not following you, let me know, So I appreciate you sharing, Zach, And Zach, I'm going to pray for you and your son. And, it's like I believe that good things are coming. Travis, I'm always praying for you and Jennifer. And he's got to get to work. You got to get to work, Travis. I told you.
We got to quit talking first.
Well, listen, I'm really grateful for you all coming on the show today. And I think that we should all just tell everybody to have a great day. Give them some love. Don't forget, everybody, if you want to support the channel, you know a way to do it. You can come on here and you smash, you like, you share it, you comment, leave a like in the description below or a comment or whatever. Go and get yourself some of the merch. In the description of the video, click more. It opens up. Get truly free home product. Use code Jacob for these are the things you could do. Join up on the Patreon because I got to tell you something. You guys tell me. I think that this is something that is really special. And I would love to see more people here. And the link to Patreon is there. So I love each and every one of you. Let's give everybody a kiss goodbye. All right?
Write the book is all it took to set the future stage. Years would pass as a heartache that lasts for that seed to finally be engaged. Loss would come, and although I'd run my trials and tribulations, I could not outpace. But that's what it took to finally put these words on the page. Illness and despair, abandonment, loss of home, possessions, mock told I was going nowhere. All this and more. Children in danger as I pounded my fist while crying and praying into the floor. Deliver me, deliver me, I can't take anymore. But this book is what my suffering was for, meant to be read by all, and it was through the suffering of my fall that the world would finally know a God of love could sow beauty in these ashes and allow it to finally grow. All of this God will do to show. So in 2024 the world would finally know the calling God prepared for them, waiting to be found in the first coming